Hey everyone, it's Mike Andes, and you're listening to the Business Bootcamp podcast. Today, I'm going to be sharing all of the financial statements for my businesses across the board for the month of January 2021. Before we get into today's show, though, a big thank you to today's sponsor, which is Gusto. If you haven't already, go to gusto.com/bootcamp. One feature I haven't talked about here before that I love about Gusto is the fact that your employees, when they're punching in and out, they can actually get money before the end of their pay period, and it doesn't have kind of your paycheck till the end of the pay period. So they can get a pay advance without asking you as the employer for that pay advance. So those awkward conversations, don't have to deal with that anymore. Go to gusto.com/bootcamp, try out for free for 90 days, completely free. All right, so as per usual, the reason why I shared these numbers is there's several reasons why. Number one is full transparency. I feel like I should be doing this because so many of you support the channel, whether it be at Augusta Nation, the franchisees, whether it be people who purchase the course, conferences, lawncarewebdesign.com. We build your websites for landscapers. So I really think it's kind of my duty to kind of share, be transparent where the money is going. And then secondly, I hope it does inspire you. If you're just getting started in your business, if you have a long journey ahead of you, if you are feeling defeated or like you're not going to be able to make it, I hope that you're inspired, as well as you can relate to the times when things are not going well and there's losses on the profit and loss statement. And so, last month, for example, December 2020, if you go back, you see there's a big loss on several of the companies. Some of that was for tax reasons, but also there's months where you lose money. There's months where you have to invest into the business and you're trying to grow. And so you see the dividends, you see the return on that down the road, but in the short term, it kind of hurts. So for example, last month, we saw a $125,000 loss on just the franchise. And there was losses in the other companies, some of the other companies that I own as well. So keep that all in perspective. Don't just watch this one video and make it some judgment based upon that. I hope that by sharing this, it inspires you, it educates you, and you get to see the progression and the journey. And even in 12 to 24 months, be able to see how much we've grown, be inspired by that, and I hope it is encouraging to you. So the big thing that is different as we head into 2021 is the fact that I am going to be launching a new business called Reset Mind and Body. This is going to be somewhat similar to like a gym for your mind and using biohacking. So there's going to be things like saunas, ice baths, light therapy, red light therapy, as well as float tanks and meditation and yoga, things like that. So we're trying to make a studio where it's very, very lean. And my projected cost for this is about $160,000 to $170,000 to $170,000 is what I'm projecting to be able to get this thing up and running, in motion, all in. So that's kind of the thing I've been saving up for. This is part business, part passion project. Something I'm very, very interested in and very, very passionate about is helping small business owners and professionals and just people in general deal with mental stress, anxiety, depression, things like that through a more, maybe not a medical or using pharmacy, but using more of that physical element that your body can go through seasonal depression, going through just having that when you wake up in the morning, having a sauna and an ice bath and feeling that rush. I feel it's so good. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's part passion, part, in my mind, business, because I want to make sure that it's a sustainable business. Because if it's a sustainable business, I can roll out more of them and actually help more people. So it's definitely governed by my passion, but rooted in business to make sure it's sustainable and it can actually thrive and not be dependent on donations as a charity, okay? So that's kind of my passion project on the side. I'm not spending more than probably 1% of my day right now on that. Most of my time is still involved with Augusta Lawn Care, the franchisees, and growing that. So right now, we have not started that project officially. We are working designs. I've done drawings, working with the contractors, and right now we're really waiting on the city permitting process to really get the ball rolling on that. More details on that down the road in terms of how we negotiated the lease in this kind of COVID era to be able to make sure it was really friendly for us and give us a big ramp-up time of 8 months before we have to pay any rent. So stay tuned for that. All right, in January 2021, Augusta Lawn Care Corporation, the local shop, the one location here locally, did $64,903. They profited just $3,241. The reason for that is because they invested, again, quite a bit into equipment and getting a lot of stuff set up. This location is going to definitely be the profit, like the biggest profit year of 2021 will be massive for them. They've gotten so many things done right over the winter. I feel like we have a solid management team in place. They're going to be in my mind, probably profitable every single month the rest of the year, and in a very big way. So I'm really shooting for above 20% this year. In times past, we've been around 19%, and so that includes my payroll, by the way, too, my paycheck. But I'm really shooting for above 20%. I think they'll hit it this year at the local shop. Blaine Anytime Fitness. Again, you kind of, if you've been listening, you kind of heard the journey of what we've having to go through with COVID. The gym was shut down for 3 months last spring. Then last November, we were supposed to shut down, but we decided collectively as a staff that we would open up with a lot of restrictions, but we wanted to have a place where our members could come and work out. So in January 2021, our revenues are still down about 10 to 15% compared to a year ago, but we're slowly chipping away and using training as a way to increase our revenues. And we've actually increased our prices. Again, trying to make it more of an exclusive club and not focusing on just 24/7 access. Really trying to be a training club first, where we can get a higher dollar per month value from each customer, instead of just a 24/7 hour gym that is competing with Planet Fitness that does $10 a month. And when we're at $55, $60 per month. So that value proposition is what we're really working on. And I really feel that in the next 6 months or so, we should get back to where we were. And I really think that in probably 12 to 24 months, I'll probably end up selling the gym, just because I kind of got what I needed from it, and that was learning the franchise model, how to train franchisees, where the franchisees in that system were unhappy with the franchisor, and then learning from that at Augusta. So one of the biggest things is communication. It's something that with Augusta lawn care franchisees, I'm so diligent and so passionate about, is communicating with them and telling them what's going on and sharing as much, even if it's bad information and we're doing something wrong, just like being open and honest about those things, because it's frustrating. And I've seen what's gone on at Anytime Fitness over the past year. So I've learned a lot from them. I feel like I'm kind of got what I needed from that experience. And I'm probably eventually going to have to sell that company, just because it does take probably 3 to 4% of my day. No, 2 to 3% of my day right now, which isn't a lot. Probably not even that much, honestly. It's very, very minimal. Maybe 10 minutes a day I'm involved at Anytime Fitness, but still it is another thing, and I'm trying to get rid of things so I can really focus on the thing, which is Augusta Lawn Care. So the revenues for 2021 January was $37,013 at the gym, and we profited about almost 50% at $17,696. So really, really happy about that. Those margins will be coming down a little bit because now the SBA, the forgiveness period is over. So they gave us 9 months where we didn't have to pay our SBA loan. And so now going forward, we will have to pay that. But very thankful to them. They just we didn't have to apply for that. They just immediately froze our payments, which saved us about $5,400 per month at the gym. All right, next thing. Landscape business course, business bootcamp podcast, kind of everything that I do online, book sales, conference, lawncarewebdesign.com, all of that online world that I do. This is a really great month for us, and I can't say thank you enough to everyone that supported us massively in January. Obviously, there's a massive loss in December because we were ramping up for the conference, and there's just a lot of cost involved with that and shipping things out to people, and just the labor of having people around for weeks on end getting things ready. But in January, we kind of got back to where we paid those things off. So $55,921 was the total revenue for all of those different income streams, and the profit was $50,655. So again, that part of what I do is very, very high margin. I'm selling courses, I'm selling, coaching, so I don't have employees for that, and so the conference, lawncarewebdesign.com, etc. So again, lawncarewebdesign.com, I paid a lot of that in December. That's why there was a big loss. And so again, you got to take these months in context. I paid for upfronted a lot of the expense in December, so that way in January, that's why the margin is like 90%. Okay, so keep those things in context. But this is kind of why I feel obligated to share these numbers, because I just am so thankful to you all for supporting me. Lawn Care Web Design, landscapebusinesscourse.com, Teachable, where we have the courses and the coaching, like all of that is made possible from you all, and I am very, very humbled and thankful. And there's enough money now to where it covers all of our media. It covers the full-time videographer that we have, Danny, who's our new team member here, working on the video all the time. It covers all of that. It covers our new computers. Like last week, I think we spent like $5,000 on equipment just to make the videos better, make the content better, whether it be music or stock footage, cameras and lenses and computers and all the rest of it. So that's what it goes towards, and I'm very, very thankful for everyone that has supported me. And I'm using quite a bit of that money now because there is extra to go towards Reset and building that facility, because I really feel like it's my passion project, and I feel like that money, even though it's mine, I want to use it in a way that is just a good steward of what you all have allowed me to do. So I really appreciate that. So Augusta Lawn Care Franchise LLC, this is the franchise. We did $92,041 in total revenue in January, and we profited $25,498. Again, you got to take things in context. We had a $125,000 loss in December because we upfronted a bunch of software development and some big fees that we knew were coming up in the pipeline this spring. So again, you got to take these things into context. There's highs and lows, but overall, a good month. We sold several franchises, and we were able to start getting more and more of our command center staff up and running. And so there's actually a really big loss at command center right now because we're training so many new people, getting them ready for the spring rush, and it takes them a good 2-3 months to get solid on the phones and full service, running payroll, invoicing, scheduling, estimates, all the rest of it that we require them to do at Command Center. So there's a big loss right now at Command Center, but we were able to make up for that and have a profit still because we were able to sell several franchises in January. So again, thank you to Augusta Nation for supporting that effort, and I'm very much looking forward to the software we're rolling out this weekend, which is version 3 of P4P, and I'm just really looking forward to what we're going to be able to do with that software, building on it, and creating our own CRM over the next 12 to 24 months. All right, lastly, is Mount Vernon Augusta Lawn Care. So it's a corporately owned store. Did $10,479 in revenue. That is currently being ran by just one person. That's Tim, the general manager. And in February, he's hired already three more people, actually, I think. And so really looking forward to a great year. Last year he did $155,000 revenue. And then in this year, he should do well over $350,000 in revenue. And we're really shooting for like a 30% plus profit margin after the general manager has been paid. So really looking forward to that. Going forward in 2021, I'm really looking forward to the fact that we have 3 new corporately owned stores that I can share numbers with you. So obviously in January, those were a bunch of zeros, but in Washington, North Carolina, and New York, we're starting Augusta Lawn Care locations, headed up by our general managers. So big shout out to Felix, Chuck, as well as Alberto, who are general managers. And just like Tim down in Mount Vernon, they're going to be on salary, getting profit sharing, and running the business just like a franchisee would. They make all the hiring and buying decisions, but at the end of the day, we kind of get them started, and they are an employee of the corporate location here. So their ambitions for all 3 of them really is down the road to either start their own franchise or buy out their existing location. But what's cool, and the reason I'm really excited about having those, is because I can test a lot of different advertising and marketing methods, not only in Washington State where we're at, but across the entire country. And we've been playing with that using the ads accounts for other franchisees, but now I'm able to get more live data and testing and things like that. So that's going to be really good, as well as I'm going to be able to share the numbers with all of you. So starting in next month, you're actually going to be able to see 3 brand new locations as they ramp up from zero, and the struggles, the dollars that we will lose. So our goal for those 3 locations is to be profitable in Q3. So obviously, January is kind of lost. They just came for training the first week of February. So February, March, that's the Q1. We'll be growing a lot, buying trucks, trailers, all the rest of it. We don't expect to be profitable. April, May, and June, quarter 2, we will be spending quite a bit on marketing to ramp things up, about $15,000 to $20,000 in marketing. Probably not all in those 3 months, so probably closer to $15,000, I should say. But then after Q2, our goal is to be profitable every single quarter after that, because they do get a quarterly profit sharing, and my goal is always make sure they actually do get something. So we kind of front stack the amount of costs involved, and each of those locations we have a budget of about $90,000 to $98,000 over the course of the whole year. So that's kind of the budget that ramp them up, as well as have about $20,000 in working capital set aside. So that's kind of the budget. So I guess all in more like $75,000 what we're going to spend on each location. But that would be really cool to be able to see each of those grow at different paces. I'm sure some of them will grow faster, some will grow slower, and you'll be able to see that whole progression here. And their financials I'll try to share every single month. In terms of stocks and investments this past month, I'm not going to share any more of the real estate, just because it's difficult to share how much profit I made necessarily, or even share how much the properties went up in value. It's kind of difficult just because the valuation of those properties is obviously in flux and constantly moving. But it was a good month. We were able to get all of our rents paid finally because of COVID. We had some issues. All of them but one tenant is still being big pain. We're having some issues. They changed the locks and are basically squatting. So we're going to have to get rid of them. Maybe I'll make some content one day, but that one's been the only issue tenant, and we haven't raised any rents or anything like that. Once COVID's over and everything's done, and the moratorium's over, then we'll be able to raise some rents and really start making it cash flow. It's already cash flow positive, but not much. And so we'll be able to increase that, make that better. In terms of stocks, January was a great month. There was a little bit of a dip in the middle there, but I bought the dip and was very, very grateful to be able to have a really good month in the month of January. The stocks that I had went up by about 11%. Again, that's not normal. All of 2020 wasn't normal to be able to have 90+% returns is not normal. I don't expect that in 2021. I'm shooting kind of for more around the range of 40% maybe. And so I'll make another video with my kind of breakdown of the different stock picks that I'm currently in, the companies that I'm currently invested in. But just full disclosure, the first week of February, I did withdraw about 1/3 of my investments in the stock market. And that was because we do need money for reset as well as these corporately owned locations. And I will be pulling some more money out throughout February, especially if we continue to have these rallies, this massive rally that we're currently in the stock market. I will be taking some money out and keeping some powder dry to put money in the market if we have a dip. But I do need that money right now for reset, for these 3 new corporately owned locations. Taxes are coming up due for 2020, so that's going to be a big bill. But I'm very much looking forward to 2021. But again, as usual, please watch the other months where there's been other ups and downs. Not every single month is rosy and cheery. And this month I think we did about $90,000 in total profit between all the companies. Like, it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes more, sometimes it's less. So I just hope that full disclosure and being open and honest to you all inspires you, give you some direction. And I really wish I did this like 5 years ago when the numbers were way smaller and there wasn't all these companies, just one. And so I hope that by starting now, in 10 years when it's much, much bigger, that you'll be able to look back, kind of see the journey, see the progression, and see how I evolved and grew as a leader. So thank you so much, everyone, for supporting the channel. This is Business Bootcamp Podcast. I'm Mike Andes. We'll see you next time.